जयपुर वाया कोटा
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೆಗೆ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दियो
They say that Sunday is the day of rest for the maker, right? But here I am, the maker of all this awesomeness, the creator of opportunities, the giver of chances. Chances to my dear friends to give their opinions and to sometimes get into trouble. And then to save themselves from that trouble, they require me, the maker. Here I am. My name is Gaurav Kapur. This is Cricbuzz Live. This is my hot cup of coffee. With me are Simon Doull and Bhattacharjya, who, as usual, have been a little naughty while I've been away.
You've been away a few days. We've had plenty of time.
Exactly.
Plenty of time.
The cat is away, the mice will play.
This is the problem, right? This is the problem with these children of today. You leave them unsupervised for a little while and they get into all kinds of trouble. Well, today there are two teams playing the first match who are in all kinds of trouble. There's one team which is in a little more trouble than the other one. They've been a little naughtier. Every game for them is now effectively an eliminator. In the previous game, they managed to eliminate the big ones in their home. So these guys are doing good. Bangalore is on the back of a big win against Hyderabad, no less. So they'll be confident today as they come into Ahmedabad to play Gujarat. Let's have a look at the points table and see how much trouble both these errant children are in. Well, there you go. They're playing their 10th game today. So that's it. There's a total of 14 that everyone is playing. So they've played 9 already. And Gujarat would look at that and they'd say, you know what? We could have been in a better position. Dooley, there's a couple of games there which they would have, on the previous 2 seasons, just won in a canter.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the issue, isn't it? They just cannot get across the line. They don't know how. When you get on that losing roll, that losing streak, you forget how to win those close games.
Yeah.
And that's it plays on your mind a little bit, I think, throughout a long season like this. When you forget how to win tight games, it's almost better from a GT point of view that put that massive loss, that real crazy game against DC. You can put those ones behind you a lot easier than you can put continued close losses behind you.
Yeah, so because there are 2 games against DC, one of them destroyed and the other one so close.
So close, and that's the thing. So it's easier to put the ones where you get destroyed behind you. It's the ones where you get so close that when you can't continually cross the line, they're the ones you worry about more often than not.
Yeah, they look at that and they look at Tristan Stubbs and say, if you wanted to jump this high, go play basketball. Right? What are you doing on a cricket field? Why are you turning a 6 into a single?
No, absolutely. And look, that's the point that both these, if you look, Punjab has also been the same boat as RCB. They've just, all these guys, Gujarat, they've all got close and they haven't completed. And that's one thing that I say that consistently now, that because people have now understood the game much better on the auction table everywhere else, the standard of teams is much more even than it ever was in the tournament. The standard is much closer. So what happens as a result is the guys who have the confidence and the nous and luck, because luck plays a factor, to get across close ones, and they get to 1 or 2 close ones, then the other guy begins to think, you know what, I'm unlucky. Then it starts playing. Then all this stuff starts happening.
And this is the team, Gujarat. This is a team that did that in the previous 2 seasons, which is why they got a trophy once and they were runners-up the other time. But for Bangalore, very little has gone correct this season. And what has gone correct for them is that they've won the toss, but they've decided to put all their fielders out for a little bit of a sunbath.
In the heat again. Afternoon games. I said it yesterday afternoon. Don't win the toss in an afternoon game and field first. Why?
Yeah.
If anything, the sun beats down on the surface. Dew doesn't come into play at all in these fixtures. You're not only putting your bowlers out in the heat, you're putting your batters who have to come out and do a job later on. Now, I know fitness levels are high, but you're still putting yourselves under pressure for 20 overs.
The 40 degrees is 40 degrees, no matter how good your fitness is.
Exactly. And we see teams do it again. Mumbai did it yesterday.
Yeah.
And paid the price for it at the back end. They looked a little bit tired.
And they allowed the other team to take the initiative.
That's the whole thing. Now, look, it doesn't dictate that RCB are going to lose the game. I know that. They could still bowl well and win the game. But I just think you're giving a bit of an advantage away in an afternoon fixture when you send your bowlers out there to bowl in this heat and you don't make use of conditions which, we've heard in the pitch report, it looks decent, but it might slow up a little bit. Well, if it slows up a little bit, you've got to bat first.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little shocking that one, but GT will be happy. GT will take it. They'll be like, let us bat. Considering that batting unit has been under a bit of pressure, right? For that kind of a batting team to get to bat first against a team, as just being a giant killer, you're like, yeah, okay, we'll take this.
No, they'll take it. They'll take it anytime because for them to bat is an advantage. They don't have, the finishing. You see now Miller's batting at 4.
Yeah.
So they don't have great finishers. Miller used to be their finisher. There's only Tewatia now.
True.
Because, Shah Rukh Khan has not shown them the form. He's had limited chances. That 6 is now looking vulnerable to them. So they'd be happy to bat first. But I have one more point. I think the reason Bengaluru likes to bat first is between their senior players, and that's I'm talking about.
They like to chase. Bangalore likes to chase.
Not just chase. I'm not sure they know what is a good total anymore.
So that's why they like to chase.
Yeah, I'm not sure in their head today Virat is going out there because the Virat kind of game was a 180, 190 total once in a while, 200 total games.
Yeah.
Those games are last year's or year before last.
Yeah. I get your point.
So tomorrow he's looking and saying that, we might get 190. And if you remember consistently what's happening with Bangalore, when they lost, for a month they lost all the games, 25th and 25th, they keep coming back and saying, okay, this target looks pretty, we thought it was pretty decent under the circumstances.
Good point.
And then it looks 20 short.
Good point. That could happen as well.
They won their last game batting first.
Yeah, they won their last game.
They beat
That's right.
Hyderabad batting first.
Getting 230 on the board.
Defender got 230 and defended it. So I would have thought, your batters have found some form, which their batters have found some form.
Yeah.
Try not to put them under too much pressure.
Yeah. Do you think also they batted that way, or they knew what a good total would be against Hyderabad because no total is good enough against Hyderabad? So we're just going to go hammer and tongs and try to get as many as we can.
And you're also doing what Hyderabad don't want you to do.
Correct.
Because they prefer to set a total and put a score on the board. So
you're denying them.
In that situation, they were probably looking as much as what the opposition have been doing, battering bowling attacks up front. So don't give them that option.
Yeah.
But in this situation, I don't know. It's a
Yeah. But anyway, that's the decision that they've made. They've given Gujarat the first go. So Gujarat's going to be batting here in Ahmedabad. And of course, it's a very valid point that Joy just got up that in the middle order, GT is not getting what they want to get from the likes of Shah Rukh Khan and Abhinav Manohar. There were two people that they were relying on. Both big hitters, both come with a great reputation in domestic. Both of them can really hit a long ball. And they haven't got that many chances, Dooley. But they want a little more from them so that Miller can actually take over the role that Hardik took last year, which is bat at 4, bat according to the situation. He's got a game to bat both.
Yeah, and they haven't had enough from anyone, to be honest with you. I mean, even Shubman's sort of tailed off a little bit the last couple of games. You want Miller. I mean, David Miller's good enough to do any role from number 4, even if he has to come into the bat quite early.
Yeah.
He's still a good enough player, or has been a good enough player to be able to do that sort of role. What they've missed enormously through that whole middle order is the Indian talent hasn't shone. Omarzai's been poor with the bat. And Miller hasn't had so they haven't really had a middle order of any description, whichever they've tried. They don't quite look like, which is un-Gujarat-like, because first 2 seasons they had that combination sorted.
Yeah.
They just haven't really put the pieces of the puzzle together properly yet, have they? And when they have got it, they just haven't really delivered for them.
Yeah, it seems like that 11 is not set, it's not settled. And I keep coming back to it. I know I'm a bit like a broken record here, but that loss of Mohammed Shami as the spearhead of their bowling unit, you can see here how it's like a domino effect, how it's a cycle stand, right? One cycle and they all go falling because your 11 depends so much on the leader of your bowling attack.
Absolutely. I mean, yes, Pandya is a huge loss also because also it's disturbed the middle order.
Yeah.
They knew who their 4 was. Now Miller's playing in that 4, they don't know who their 6 is, they don't know who their 5 is.
Yeah.
So there's confusion again, and I think, they'd be better off. We were talking yesterday about bolstering that middle order, maybe taking one ball a shot because Omarzai got you nothing. Yeah. I mean, he's really given you nothing with the bat.
So what would you do if you had to do it? And we'll have a look at the team in a second.
Yeah.
But what would an ideal 11, let's say, if you had to unlock this for Gujarat?
Well, we thought bring in a local batter in the middle, Abhinav Manohar or someone like that, and then maybe play Spencer Johnson, or look to get Matthew Wade in at number 4 or 5.
Wade over Williamson?
I think so, because if you're going to play Williamson, I think he's got about 1, 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And I think 1, 2 and 3 are pretty solid. After Riddiman got runs in the last game, that's not going to change for me. Obviously, Shubman and Sai Sudarshan. So if Kane doesn't bat 1, 2, 3, then I don't think he's got a place in a T20 side.
Okay.
Very high quality player, but I don't think in this format that he's a 4-5 type player. So that would be the only reason I would have looked that way. And as I said, I just don't think they've got what they required out of Omarza. I know it was a cheap buy. I know it was only 50 lakh base price buy, but they would have expected more, particularly with the bat from him, and they haven't got it.
Interesting. All right. Well, let's see what Gujarat has done with their team. They, of course, are batting first. Who do they have? What's their batting order looking like? Because they've got, there you go. Well, it's made no change. They still, that 1, 2, 3, we got to admit that 1, 2, 3, 4 still looking solid. Saha's got some runs. Shubman, class is, without doubt. Sai Sudarshan got quick runs. You saw him get some fast pace
He's their leading batter this year.
He's their leading batter, and then when he got them in that gear, it made you realize, all right, he's not just your solid 125, 130 strike rate player. He can be a 180, 200 strike rate player as well. David Miller, well, he got that quick 50 last game. Then there's Omar Zai. They want more with the bat from him and from Shahrukh. Tewatia and Rashid have done their bit with the bat in respective games. And then Sai Kishore, Noor Ahmed and Mohit Sharma. And they'll probably get a bowler in their impact subs. If we look down that list,
Was Sai Kishore already there?
Sandeep Warrior.
Sandeep Warrior.
Sandeep Warrior. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. So they'll get Sandeep Warrior there as an impact sub. So that bolsters their bowling. And now, surprise, surprise.
Here we go.
Yeah, I'm wondering what they can throw.
Joy's sitting back like some of the lottery numbers are going to be declared.
Here we go. This is very interesting.
Oh, there he is. He's back. Maxie's back, which means in your top 6, you have 4 overseas bats. All right, just take a minute for that to kind of digest, because that happens very rarely.
3 of which can bowl.
3 of which can bowl, agreed.
If you want to look at it that way, in Jax Maxwell and Cameron Green.
Yeah,
so,
Jax Max and Green can bowl.
Yeah. No overseas pacer. They've tried Topley, they've tried Alzari Joseph, they've tried Lockie Ferguson.
All gone.
All feel like they have not worked. So now they're going with a pure local bowling lineup.
Yeah.
And then Green, Maxwell and Jax.
Swapnil Singh playing, huh?
Yeah.
Spinning last time, he got a couple of wickets for them. One fortunate, one was a very decent delivery. He's there, very, very interesting, because Maxwell coming back is a huge one, and he can turn the ball as well. Maxwell will give you 2 overs, definitely in these conditions. Maxwell will definitely give you overs. Will Jacks gives you overs. So your bowling options, you literally have 4 spinners there.
You've got 4 spinning options here. You've got 4 spinning options, but you're a little stretched when it comes to the quicks, because they've got Siraj, they've got
Yash Thakur,
Yash Dayal,
and they've got Cameron Green.
Cameron Green.
Yeah.
So 3 of them.
I mean, they must look at the surface and think it is going to be slow.
Yeah.
It's going to take some turn. It's maybe the team and the toss decision has been sort of tied in together. They've gone in with heavy spin, afternoon conditions, maybe slowish, maybe turn a little bit in the afternoon. Maybe that's why they've opted to bowl first and go with a very heavy spin department.
But I'd love to be a fly on the wall to make out exactly what happened when Maxi goes back to the management and told them he's going to play. I mean, that would have been that's amazing, because he was on an indefinite break.
Yeah, didn't we? I mean,
indefinite break to me would be more than a week or so.
Yeah, but the words used were indefinite break.
We called it, right? I think we were on this show when we said he's probably taken a flight and gone back. That's what we thought. We thought he's probably gone back, but he hasn't. Here he is.
I don't know. It's hard to get into that whole discussion, because sometimes, there are people out there genuinely struggling with mental illness.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure a week off does it for you. So it's a hard space to get into when you don't know enough about it. But
correct.
Horribly out of form, yes.
Yeah.
Maybe needed a break, yes. But does it only take a week to get over that? Who knows?
But he's back today. Yeah. They've got Jax and Max, both of them in the team. So, and they've got 4 batters. And there's, interestingly, once you look down that batting, I mean, they're going to be batting second, no left-handers. There's no left-handers till Karan Sharma. Remember, they're going to get another batter in over here, right? So maybe that batter will be a left-hander? Yeah?
Yep, I think that's your only option, yeah.
So there you go. So they have looked at the spin that Gujarat has. I really doubt if they've made a decision basis that. But it is interesting that there are no left-handers there. I'm going to bring it back and just look at the Gujarat batting lineup again so that you can have a look. They are batting first in Ahmedabad, and we'll look at that batting. See, let's talk about, we've spoken about the good things that are happening for them, which is that Riddhi got some runs last time, got them quick. The captain will definitely be looking at this saying, we're batting at home, we're batting first, we're batting against a team that's only 1-2. There's not a lot of pace there. Yes, there is Siraj. There's Siraj, somebody who he would have played a million times, even in the nets. He's seen enough of him in the last 3-4 years playing in the same team. He should really use this opportunity today, Gill, to sort of get back and mark his attendance on the register again.
Absolutely. And I think the way teams look at it also, when you're part of a team, you look at your schedule and you say, these guys, they've won 2. We are playing a home game against them.
Yeah.
We've got to make a mark on this. And they'll not just this, we have to maximize this opportunity.
Yeah.
So he'll be looking at that and saying, guys, we need to nail this one.
Yeah. Were you impressed with Sai Sudarshan's kind of 5th gear, 6th gear that he showed with batting?
Yeah, I've been impressed with Sai Sudarshan, full stop. Look, he wanted more at the start of the tournament, and Gujarat wanted more from him. But you think back to a couple of the innings he played last year, he's a really talented player. I think with Gill getting runs around him, he's going to be even better. That strike rate, if you think back, was at the final he struck at sort of 200 or, like 190 to 200 in the final last year. So he's got the gears, and you look through the whole 22 innings. I mean, they're pretty good numbers. Strike rate, he could go up a little bit, but when you're averaging 42 and striking at 133, your Basra's around that 175 mark, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Even for modern day top 3 batter. So look, he's got all the skills. You want him to just continue to kick on.
And if you look at that 130, be a bit kinder on him because his team hasn't done well around him.
No.
So if you've got wickets collapsing all the way around, you can't go harder, you can't take risks.
Yeah.
So I think he's always been in a situation where he's been playing catch up with the late middle order.
And you're also playing on 170, 180 surfaces at home.
Exactly.
So, you've got to look at where they're playing as well and the scores that are being made at that ground.
Yeah.
And they're not 220, 230, 240 scores.
He'd probably get a little confidence from the fact that David Miller got some runs. But he's had to take the village elder role because no one else has been getting many runs. So he's had to do it slowly. But he showed the gears. So we'd like to see a lot more of that from him, where you need bowlers to fear your 1, 2, 3 for the kind of destruction that they can potentially cause. Because when you go up batting against a Hyderabad, when you go up batting against now a Delhi with, let's say, McGurk opening, you're scared. You're scared that this could be on Narayan and Salt. You're scared that this can be an 80, 85 run power play with just a blink of an eye. You need bowlers to be terrified, to bowl to that possibility.
I totally agree with you. And that's what, when we talk about even Faf and Virat, they're a threatening batting side from 2018-19.
Yeah.
Today, the threatening batting sides are going at 60 is not par. It's 80, 85. They're going regularly hitting at that level. And 1 over 19-20 is nothing. They're going after the bowlers. They're not saying, okay, let's hit a couple of sixes. Now I can take a single and rotate the strike. Those days are over. Every ball I'll fetch, every ball will need to be fetched if I can get my way.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference out there. And now you're in a situation where if your top order can't do that for you, you're always looking, the teams that are on the top have top orders that are threatening from ball 1.
That's right. Butler, Jaiswal, Samson, 1, 2, 3 being there as well. I think, and of course, the impact player rule helps. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. The impact player rule. In fact, Shubman Gill had something to say about it. Let's see if we can decode it. Rohit's been very clear. Rohit has said, impact player is giving me no all-rounders for India, which is absolutely right. You think about it, the IPL has an impact rule player, ICC does not have, right?
Exactly.
So it's pretty clear where are your all-rounders coming. I think impact player has a bit of a role in making the matches high scoring. Even if you lose extra wickets, the cushion is there for the batters to keep going, and it gives the license for the batters to keep going till the end. Absolutely correct. I don't think you can. He's a young player. You don't expect as damning a verdict from him as you can from Rohit.
Yeah, Rohit's seen that and I don't like it. And see, Rohit is now of the mindset where he's thinking of India.
Correct.
He's saying this doesn't suit India because we are not making all-rounders, everyone else will make all-rounders. For example, my other rule that I always believe in, saying that not allowing players to play abroad. Now, all the players completely know Indian conditions because the best players in the world come here and play.
Correct.
We don't know their conditions because we don't have guys playing mid-bash. We don't have guys playing the 100.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are the kind of things. So, Rohit is looking at what suits India now.
He has 0 pieces of fudge to give. Right?
Exactly.
He doesn't give no candy to nobody, right? Basically. But again, the question is, and we always talk about this, and I remember on the Hindi show, we used to mention it, in the English show, we always used to mention it, it's a T20 game, get more bowlers because if 7 batters can't do it for you, sure as hell 8 are not going to do it. We've also said this, so we must point that out in arguments as well. Then how come this one extra batter is making so much of a difference? Because number-wise, has made a difference as well.
Yeah, I think the style of play that teams are looking to play with now, it's not just the impact player. They almost have a license, and it's look, boys, we can get 250. If we get 160, we're not bothered. We will get 230, 240, 250 more often than not if we believe in our philosophy.
Yeah.
Because we only need 1 or 2 to come off when we believe in our philosophy. So we're not worried about getting bowled out for 160 on the odd occasion. I think the extra batter does play a little bit of a role in that, yes. Yep. But the philosophy of teams, I think, is also playing a big role in it as well. And the free license. And the fact that these guys have spent the last 3-4 years practicing all of these new shots.
True.
Putting the bowlers under pressure. Talked about boundary sizes, the quality of bats, the strength of players. All of this stuff is coming into it now. So it's getting more and more difficult to contain top players. And I think the impact player is a small part of it. I don't think it's made all of the difference. I think there are other factors at play as well.
The audacity, like what Tristan Stubbs did to Luke Wood yesterday, just the audacity.
Yeah. Middle stump ball, just flicked it over for 6. Unbelievable shot. But see, there's one more thing. I just asked our stats expert Deepu to take a look at first innings totals last year versus this year.
Yeah.
And they're up from 182, it's gone up to 194. That's a substantial jump. 182 to 194 is a big jump. So that meant that there is a difference. People also understand the rule better after a year, which is why I'm hoping that next year our bowlers will understand the 2-bouncer rule better and use it better, because I don't think the 2-bouncer rule has been used well this year.
No. Okay.
See, the other point is that just, breaking it down in pure numbers. If you normally had 7 bats, now you have 8. Okay. That's about a 13% increase in batting strength. And that 13% almost mirrors the increase in your 182.
Nerd alert!
Yeah. So it's like,
Also,
Actually, it's 8%. The score's gone up by about 8%.
Yeah.
But the batters have gone up by 13%. So the batter's actually underperforming. We need to give us more. We need 300 scores. I think our basic kind of verdict here is that the impact player rule is definitely negatively affecting one thing, which is the playing of proper all-rounders, right? Because now you can have an extra bowler or an extra batter. So it is impacting there. In terms of the scores, I don't think it's impacting that as much as the change in intention and skill of the batters over the last year, over the last 2 years. I think that's impacting the scores going up a little more than just an extra bat being there. Well, in terms of spin, we spoke about Bangalore and spin a lot. And they started off, we were like, where's the spinners? Where's your spinners? There's no spinners. But it looks like maybe, and I know it's early doors, but could this be Karan Sharma and Swapnil, 2 of them bowling dually, could this be the answer to their woes?
They've had a few woes, haven't they?
They're spinning woes.
Spinning woes, I think, is a key. Yeah, it could be. Karan Sharma's more than used to, quite a bit quicker than a Chahal type bowler. He's got the variations. He can certainly offer something with the bat down the order as well, which we've seen glimpses of. And they've clearly gone spin heavy. Yeah. So it's circumstantial. As far as, we think it's going to be a dryish pitch. We think it's going to turn a little bit, so we'll play more spin bowling options. Both sides have gone in very similar. If you look at Green and Omarzai, they're the third seamers.
Yeah.
for both sides. So both sides have gone into the game very similar. So they're obviously reading the pitch the same way. Pace hasn't worked for Bangalore.
Yeah.
It's gone out the park. I feel a little bit sorry for Vaichak. I think he's still been decent, but he just can't get a consistent run in that side. And I think he's a very good bowler. I think he's a good, smart operator. So I feel a little bit sorry for him on the front that he just is not getting enough games. But if they're seeing that spin will be the bigger part, or have the bigger part to play today, then they've selected the right side.
Yeah, and look what's happened. They chose spin because they moved out of. All this starts from moving out of the Chinnaswamy because they don't dare play these players at the Chinnaswamy. So now you've come here, now you've got an even larger ground than Hyderabad, and you're literally playing 4 spinners.
Yeah, in Ahmedabad.
In
Hyderabad to now Ahmedabad.
It's one thing though. I mean, when you see, folks, when you see this ground on television, I will guarantee you there is probably 10 to 12 metres between the boundary rope and the grandstand. I guarantee you there'll be 10 to 12 metres in some parts. I've just had a look at the dimensions, 62 and 64 sideways. I'm sorry, but that's just too small.
Yeah, because I've seen
You can drive a tractor around the outside of the advertising
It's a
hoardings.
big ground.
It's a big ground. We've been there.
Yeah.
We've stood there. It is a big ground. You could drive a huge tractor, I guarantee you today, between the advertising boards and the grandstand.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
Just push the damn boundaries back. Give them a little bit more. Goodness me. We're not playing.
See what you're doing to bowlers. Just watch. The trauma's real even after they retire. Look at the faces.
I feel for them. I just feel for them.
Yeah, you got it though. You're right. Some of these grounds you can push it back. 62 and 64 is.
I get Delhi. Delhi's not big. Even there though, they're in.
Yeah.
They're in there. It's like no. I mean, you can push them out a bit more.
Yeah, but it's Delhi, man. You just illegally grab some of the grandstand. It won't be the first case of land grabbing. What happened in Delhi?
Oops, stop it.
I can't go back now, can I?
No.
I just have to live now in this undisclosed location forever. But all right. Now, of course, with Gujarat batting first, what are they looking at here? What are they looking at considering now the heavy hitters in the Bangalore side? Let's make no bones about the fact that Bangalore will look at this chasing unit, even though they're putting all of them in the heat, and we are sort of saying, what is this decision? Why are you bowling first after winning the toss? But the fact is, that batting lineup, that can send shivers down anyone, right? You've got 4 solid overseas bats, and then you add to that Virat Kohli, Rajat Patidar, who hit that 10 minutes in the previous game.
Dinesh Karthik,
Mahipal Lomror. That's a pretty solid batting lineup, Joy.
Yeah.
What is Gujarat looking at?
can bat.
What are they
Swapnil is a decent
discussing?
bat.
Absolutely. What are they discussing right now?
I think Gujarat is telling themselves that they will back their spinners once they get about a 180, 185.
Yeah, you think this is you think they're not talking 200 because they haven't got 200 yet. I think once.
Yeah.
I think they've got the 200 just once.
And they lost that match.
This ground, I wrote the numbers down for this ground. 162 GT against MI, they won the game. SRH got 162, GT won in the last over. Sorry, 168 in game 1, 162 in game 2, which SRH got, and GT won it in the last over. Then 199 GT got against Punjab. Punjab won in the last over, and then the 89 all out.
Yeah.
So today's a day for Shubman Gill. It's a day for the captain to play an innings that doesn't necessarily have to be 100.
Yeah.
But it's probably got to be an 80 or a 90 minimum to allow his team to... I think the more wickets you've got in hand at the back end of this innings, the better off you will be. So I think if you can be 140 with 4 or 5 overs to go, you don't have to go ridiculously hard, but I think if you can be around that 130, 140 with 4, maybe 5 to go with wickets in hand, you're a chance to get to that 180, 190 mark. If you lose wickets, it's hard to start, hard to start against spin.
Yeah. But that's what Bangalore's looking at. They're looking at this batting lineup and they're saying the fragility of this batting lineup has been exposed a few times.
Yeah.
So Faf's telling his bowlers, just give me 1 or 2, I don't care who you get me.
Yeah.
Just try to get me 1 or 2 in the power play because then we're in control.
Hard for wickets up front.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the basic problem is if you look at the Bangalore attack, the bowling attack I'm saying, they're not a great death bowling attack at all.
No.
So if you're going to reach the final 5 overs with 6 or 7 wickets in hand, they will be under the pump. Because there's nobody out there, there's no Bumrah you're going to throw the ball to say, okay, control it now. Sandeep Sharma. There's nobody like that.
Yeah, which is why this game is such a juicy encounter, because when you see two teams full of great potential and then with bits that they're doing well and then with flaws as well, that's what makes it. It gives me the chills.
This is a cracking game for me because it's like you've got a team that are pretty much out of it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, backs against the wall, coming off a win. You've got a team who can still qualify, have done it twice already in the first 2 years of their, you know, who don't look like they're in a great shape at the moment. They've got no middle order. You just don't know.
Have you got the mysterious stranger returning suddenly?
Absolutely.
From an indefinite break.
Yeah.
It's all set up. It's beautifully set up.
Well.
All is well. All is well. All is Maxwell. All right, but let's just do, before we get the joy factor question in, because that's important, but it's not as important as our guessing game. Let's just not mess around. I was away for 4 days. You know I love being here at Cricbuzz, but not anymore. I'll explain to you in a second. I don't like being here anymore because the longer I stay away, the less guesses I can get wrong, which means percentage-wise, I can stay up and everybody else can get stuff wrong and just make their chances worse. But the problem is that this young man, Simon Doull, has been doing very well and climbing up the charts, as has Joy Bhattacharya. Look at the two of you, man. Chew, one sec. We've got here, what have we got? We've got Chew at 22. Chew at 22. Well, Chew at 22. I'm still leading, but it's just by very little. Yeah. So what do I get to go first guess? What happens? Do I get to go first guess?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, cool.
I'm gonna go. It's a welcome back present.
All right, excellent. I'm gonna back Gujarat to get 193.
193.
Yeah, it's a lot. They're 160, 170 teams, so I've left it open for you guys.
Right, go on.
181.
181. All right, cool.
81.93. This is today the day they get over 200.
Come on, Doull.
I like it.
Is today the day they get over 2? Yes, it is.
Go on.
It is. It's 207.
207.
Yeah, which is given good.
Love it.
Come on, Shubbers.
Love it. I got me some wiggle room on either side. Let's get this done. Our joy factor question. Come on. Should we just leave? Simon and me are just going to leave.
Stay there.
All right.
I mean, it's not so bad. Please.
All right. Go.
Okay.
Bring it.
Okay. There's a record in the first ever test match made which is not yet broken by Charles Bannerman. It's the highest percentage of runs. Like that, among full member nations, which record from the first ever T20 international match, a record set in the first ever T20 national match, is still yet to be broken?
Okay. This first test you speak of is which year?
That was 1877.
1877.
This is 2005.
1877. Back when young Joy was in college. Did you watch his first game? This one is more recent.
I think I worked on that one.
He worked on that one. He knew
on the
everything.
1877 game?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. How much did they pay back then?
One
Faux Bob.
1 penny a day. And half a gallon of whiskey.
I like it. It's a bit like my Cricbuzz contract, right? Exactly like that. All right, well, that's all we have time for. Give us your answers. I'm sure a lot of you have already got those in to us. Hashtag Cricbuzz Live, hashtag Joy Factor. And we, of course, will be back at the end of the 10th over with Cricbuzz Combo. So do join us then. Gujarat batting first against Bangalore. The first of our 2 games to be played today. So we're going to be here with you all day. Big thank you to Simon Doull and Joy Bhattacharya. I am Gaurav Kapur. You were watching Cricbuzz Live. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
जयपुर वाया कोटा
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন। कृपया ध्यान दें।